Well, this is official, guys. We are in 2022. Welcome back to the Next Level Show. We are alive and well, barely, but we're here. We're here. This is our first official episode of 2022. I'm excited. It's been a while. There's a lot of like catching up we got to do and fill in the listeners
Oh yeah.
with all the craziness. But happy New Year's to everyone. I hope you
Happy
guys
New
were
Year.
safe, safer than me. I just got back from being out of the country. Excited get back to work. I haven't been able to work since, but we'll get into as to the reasons why. Mike has some updates for us. Gabe has some updates for us, and then I have some updates. And then we're just gonna kind of break down like basically what to expect for the next level show for 2022. We have mini breakdown projections of what we think that we our goals are, what we're trying to accomplish and provide to you guys, the listeners. Obviously, our objective is always to grow in some way, shape, or form, which I think we were able to accomplish that, regardless of all the craziness with 2021 individually, with the podcast, as a person. So I look at it all as a net positive, looking at everything across the board, everything. So I'm super excited. So how you guys doing? Who wants to go first and fill us in with what's going on?
Mike.
Yeah, I'll go first. I okay, so full update. The whole house caught COVID. We're pretty sure, and you can never really be 100%, but we're pretty sure that it came from a patient that Jen had, that wound up testing positive under her care, and she didn't know, so she wasn't, they're taking steps, but COVID is like extra steps. So I guess she wasn't taking extra steps. Maybe she'll correct me on this later when she hears the episode. I have no idea. But either way, it came from patient zero at the hospital. She brought it home. And then the next day, she started showing symptoms, tested positive. The next day, Oliver started showing symptoms, about 101.4 degree fever, something like that. It was very scary. He tested positive, and then as we're leaving the doctor's office, they like trundled us out the back door so as to avoid the lobby full of potentially
Of course.
infectable children. So, and then I was like, well, everybody's got it. I'm calling out of work the rest of the week. I kissed Jen. I kissed the baby. I was like, I got it too. And it sucked. But the week away from work kind of settled me down enough. It gave me enough peace and quiet and time with the family to realize that I don't spend enough time with my family. And I decided to put in my 2 weeks at Crunch, because ultimately I can make money anywhere, doing anything. And I am very replaceable at Crunch, but I'm not replaceable at home. So gonna
Or here.
mess with my priority triangle a little bit and maybe get a little bit more towards family and health for myself. And yeah, so been going through the process of divvying up the very small list of 30 people that I'm managing right now, and finding them happy homes or canceling them or doing whatever. And as of now, I don't have any plans on continuing with personal training per se, as far as main source of income. I'm going to go back to work for my mom, designing houses. That allows me to bring Oliver to work with me, or sometimes work from home, and it overall just gives me more time and energy where I feel it's needed, and wanted too, because I love that little guy. He's awesome. He's infinitely frustrating sometimes, but I love him regardless. So I guess that's like the biggest update, But the weirdest thing that I caught from, we can maybe talk about this too, because since we all, spoiler alert, we all caught COVID. Did either of you get a rash? I got a fucking rash. Did you know that's a part of COVID? There's like a 1% of the population that actually catches it. You can get a fucking rash. I'm the lucky motherfucker. I was so itchy for
It's called herpes.
bro, I feel like herpes would have been like more easily explained, because I just like woke up and there were like these red splotches all over, like all around my waistline. And I'm like,
Crabs.
what the fuck is this? Like, I've been showering regularly. I'm like, I'm not a dirty motherfucker. Like, what the fuck's going on? And we looked it up, and like, sure enough. So like, armpits, waistline, little bit like on my elbows, like just super itchy, dude. It was driving me crazy, but didn't lose my taste or my smell. At least long term, while I had it, it was like everything kind of tasted like I was tasting it through a coffee filter. I could get like the hint of what I was eating, but it wasn't like full flavor. Other than that, it was just like I get lightheaded randomly. I'd lose energy really quickly. And overall, like I'd be freezing cold, which never happens, but at the same time, I'd be running a fever. It was really fucking weird. It's a weird disease. But that's it. Somebody else talk, please.
Go ahead, Gabe.
All right, I guess me next. No changes like that as far as work or anything like that. Well, there's one change that's you can kind of like probably see right now, and it's just the whole setup. I don't have my typical table, my riser, or nothing, so I have to hold it by hand. Just because I didn't want to. Yeah, exactly. I'm pulling a mic over here because I didn't want to change the, I guess, the view just to kind of stay in this room. We ended up doing a fireplace in our living room and got a new TV and everything looks great over there. The old one, we kind of like put our two stands together just as a temporary fix. And I'm not going to just keep on moving that TV off of that to record. Just makes no damn sense. But we have that going on, and what we didn't do this year. You could typically go away or someplace, either fly or drive, but for during Christmas. But we decided to stay in, and in staying in, we had some visitors over, and that's where I got hit. And shit happens. Whatever. Someone that doesn't know or isn't aware, but when they start, if like you're around me and then you start kind of like either coughing or holding in a cough for a couple times, I'm gonna look at you sideways. You're like, "Are you okay?" And that's what I did, and they were like, "Yeah," but it wasn't. And I was in the car with them damn near the whole day. So yeah, my parents gave it to me, dad in particular, and very upset about that. Upset at myself for not really saying anything. And luckily, it was just me. The girls are fine. Jen's fine. So that was great about it. But it kind of like helped me to understand if you can navigate it in a responsible way and not pass it to everyone in the house without having to, go into like, I don't know, an outhouse in the back or a shed and keep yourself there. So I would just did what I had to do to stay away. It was hard because we do everything together, the four of us, and for me to have little to no contact with them was odd and weird. So didn't like that at all. Luckily, my reaction to it wasn't anything crazy. No rashes, barely even a fever. I think if anything, maybe once a little bit, and it was at night. I got out the shower, and then I just got the chills. Like I was like shaking pretty crazy for a hot second until I put some clothes on, and then I was all good. The main issue for me was just, I guess, like just congestion. Outside of that, it was totally fine. I felt like I could still do things around the house and didn't have fatigue or loss of energy or anything. So luckily, I guess I had my response to it wasn't anything crazy. Outside of that, I got nothing. John?
All right. The big reveal, here it comes,
Okay,
baby.
hold on. All right, now I'm ready.
Yeah. Let's hear this.
I mean, and I feel like there's too much hype for what it really is. But I have a funny story. Like, for those that don't know, I was in Mexico for the first week of January. It's a trip that I've had planned for about 6 months now. It was with a group of 14 people total that went.
Wow.
We had got a big villa. For people that followed me on Instagram, you guys got to see bits and pieces of it. I also primarily went for a festival that is a big one, and they host in Tulum. It's called the Zamna Festival. It's with the label Afterlife, and it holds, drum roll please, it holds about 20,000 people per day. So there I had it easy a bit this is the reason why I got probably COVID, right? Mike already disclaimed that we all got it. But obviously going there, the cases were starting to rise leading up to this trip, and Mexico is prime where there's so much tourism that comes in through Tulum, Cancun, Playa del Carmen. All those spots are like full with tourism. It didn't slow down. Ironically enough, they started to have more restrictions and closing the week after the week I left. They started kind of closing some of the events down. But the event that we went to, we had just had to do more protocols like test that morning. You had to show up a negative test before going to the event. But this is hold that thought on that example. So I was like, okay, cool. Like whatever, you have to test. Hopefully I don't test positive. So everyone came out negative. We all went to the event. We enjoyed the rest of the week doing other things like going to the pyramids. I got to see kind of just different like stuff. We went to like what's called the cenotes, which are like these underwater caves, basically like these where you can like literally swing and jump and have a good time. It's pretty cool. It's all like, you know, we were doing a lot of like the tourism stuff, and overall great time. I felt fine the whole trip. The whole trip we were fine. And there was only two times where I was with a lot of people, and that was an event also on Saturday that we were at the beach. And so it was just like, but I was kind of more in the outside part. I wasn't really inside a crowd. But like I said, you're in an environment that's exposed. I already knew the risk going into it. To be honest, I wasn't like surprised that I caught it, but it's just like, you know, you take a trip on an airplane, you go anywhere to another country, you're assuming a risk regardless of you assume a risk going to the damn grocery store. It's just the way the world that we live in right now. So I'm not really salty about it. Um, we had a good time. I also for the listeners, I'll post pictures like probably this week. I went to the jungle gym, the famous jungle gym. The first day too, that was pretty badass. Cool to be there, you know, just be on the beach working out with all the Flintstone looking weights. So that was like kind of something I was looking forward to. So I thought it was pretty badass. But basically, fast forward to the whole trip. It was a great time. We had fun. I felt fine the whole time. It was just, I believe, I came back Sunday night. So Saturday morning, I went to bed on Friday. Fine. Everything was no cough, no sniffles, nothing. I woke up on Saturday morning and I felt like I just got hit by a bus. Like my body was just shot. Like I was just tired. It just hit me out of nowhere. And it was instantly. I woke up and I'm like, damn, like, and I was on a boat the day before, so I was swimming, jumping off of stuff, like just on the water a lot, like paddling and shit. So I was thinking like, am I like hungover or super dehydrated from the day before, just being in the sun all day, barely drank any water, consumed a lot of alcohol, jumped in the water a lot. Like I don't know, probably it's that because it was first thing in the morning. I was like, well, probably just feel a little tired. I go walk to a breakfast spot and I feel instantly my body just feels like super like weak. Like I'm just like, dude, like I feel like I just had the hardest workout of my life and everything hurts. Like all my muscles are sore. But I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, whatever. I'll just go get some coffee, drink some water, get a good breakfast. I'll be back to normal. Because like I said, I didn't have any sniffles, coughs, or anything. It was just the aches. So I get there, and then I was talking to someone, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, like for some reason I just feel sore, dude. Like, do you feel sore?" And I'm like thinking it's just me, like you know, like yeah, I'm a little sore, but like then one of my friends was like looking at me like, "What do you feel?" And he is like, "Yeah." He's like, that's weird." I'm like, I don't think it's dehydration or just like you know or being hungover, and I'm like, yeah, who knows, whatever. So whatever, we just keep walking back to the house. In the whole, I had a temperature at one point. I'm at the house. I'm like in the morning. I'm just there, like I'm feeling a little warm. Like this is weird. So I lay down for 15 minutes. The temperature goes away. I feel normal again. I feel a lot better. I felt better the rest of the day, but I just felt that in and out of tiredness that was just creeping in and out. So I was like, okay, this is weird. So I went to an event anyways on Saturday. So
Nice.
I probably just like, yo, just
Killed everybody.
shared
Oh,
everything.
Yikes. Sorry.
And I had a buddy that
Didn't mean to
was
say that.
he also tested positive the following day. He like I guess borrowed a stranger's vape pen. So I gave this person the fucking So it's just like, bro, like it's just a fuck fest, right? So anyways, long story short, I was out all day and I was walking up and down all day. So I was just fucking tired. And then Gabe, but you said you get cold out of nowhere and shit, or Mike, you said you get a cold out of nowhere. That's weird, dude. Like I'm never cold like that. And I'm just like, oh fuck. Like it's freaking I'm like shivering, dude. So anyways, I go home. We have to test the next morning to be able to get back into the country. If not, we're fucked. We have to stay in Mexico.
Yeah.
So reporting to you live from Cancun. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm back. But this is the story, right? We all get tested again. We had someone come to the house, swab our noses, like do basically like they said it's a rapid, bro, but they were jamming that shit in our noses, like picking our brains out. And yeah, like typically this is the rapid, just like a quick little swirl.
They all do that.
Right? Nah, like I've had moments where they just like you can literally just rub the entrance of your nose and just put it in, and it's a different process. This one was like they did like a PCR style where they jam it, do the swab, and then they do a different way to get the rapid result back. So I've done different kinds. So anyways, they do that one for us. And then we all go in a row. We're having breakfast at the house. We're packed up. We're basically getting everything ready just to eat, do the test, get our results, and dip. All I knew is that I wasn't staying in Mexico. Regardless of, I'm not staying in this country. I have to get back. I have a lot of shit I got to do. And plus, I don't want to pay for like, bro, Tulum was expensive. And it's not like, going to Colombia. It was like basically paying American dollars for like everything you did. So I was like, no, I'm not staying here. The food wasn't even all that great. So I was like, dude, whatever. We're all taking the test. First person comes back positive, which is my buddy's fiance. And I was like, oh shit, she's sitting next to me. And she was sitting next to me in the front of the bus the whole time that we were traveling with him. So I'm like, so I could see that she stops eating. I look over, she's all serious. I'm like, what's wrong? And just like, I just lost my appetite. And I look at him, I'm like, why? What's going on? He's like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I didn't click. I was still half asleep. So then I go, she's like, no, I'm positive. I'm like, oh shit. So I wasn't surprised. I already felt bad. Like, I felt bad the day before. So I go and I finally go get tested. Hers sure as shit came back positive. I go test positive. A couple other people positive. It was 4 of us total. One of my buddies took a little bit for it to come back, but he ended up testing positive and he was actually feeling symptoms that day. So we're like, fuck, what do we do? She had to travel back to Canada. So she had 2 times that she had to pass through the US and to go through the Canadian border. So like she had more of a pressure than me because I just had to fly to Miami. So I was like, shit. So I'm like, well, what do we do? Because I'm not staying here. So I have to get back. This is why I'm telling you about the festival. This is like the whole thing that you test. You can show negative and still go. You go negative, you can go to the festival. They give you access. What I forgot is that we're in Mexico. And in any Central American country or South American country, I forget that money pools, right? You can do anything if you have money. So I had a friend there that could alter the test if I needed it. I'm not putting any disclaimers out there, but I needed to edit or anything. But we literally just told the guy. We told the guy how much for a negative. $100.
That's it.
Cool. That's it. So I was
Could have
like,
asked for more.
I
So
know.
you
should have
made a
asked
quick
more.
400
But
bucks.
bro, you're talking about $400 in Mexico. That's 20. It's like 20 something pesos
I'm just saying he
per
could have
dollar.
asked for more. If he would have
Oh, I
told
know.
you 150 or 2, what are you
Yeah.
going to say? No.
Yeah, I would have done it. I would have
That's what
done
I'm
it
saying. He
regardless.
could have asked for more.
So that guy made easily $400 plus all the other tests. So yeah, dude, I basically paid to get a negative. I said I was not gonna stay regardless of. I had to be like, am I gonna stay like another 5 days or a week here in this country? I can't. I literally can't afford to. I have to go back. Have my dog. I have all this shit that I like. Have all these other responsibilities I got to handle. So whatever. Mask up. Everyone's like, shit. We're out of here. Cool. We leave. Dude, it's crazy. Money talks. And all I'm saying is that, like, when I'm saying that I was able to do that to fly into another country, dude, you don't have to do that much to do at another festival. So probably everyone had COVID in that shit. Like, and then obviously we were exposed. So over 20,000 opportunities for me to get it. I finally got it in Mexico. I've never had COVID until now, allegedly. And yeah, that's my story with COVID. I felt luckily okay to fly back. I felt bad for the girl that was next to me on the plane. So
Was it a crowded flight?
it was a full flight, dog. It was a full flight. So, anyways,
This is why we have a pandemic.
Yes.
well, and this is what I'm
Well,
thinking. Like,
yes.
This is
think,
why
think about this. This is happening probably on a global level.
Yes.
every
So-
single
yeah.
day.
So, with that being said, the world is corrupt, guys, and I'm
Yeah.
part of
This
the
is true.
corruption.
Yeah, it's
we know this.
it's not governments. It's not CDC.
No.
It's not the WHO. It's
No.
some guy that
It's
wants
the
to
guy
make
in
$400
Mexico.
bucks.
It's the guy in Mexico.
Fuck, dude.
But the thing is that Mexico had high rising cases in general leading up, like even before this outburst or whatever. But the way I look at it, like personally, it's like at this point everyone's gonna get it. Even when I left,
No.
I all you guys got it.
Shut up.
Anyways,
because I was
and
an
I know-
idiot,
and I
and
know-
I
and-
stood around someone who was a fucking moron.
Anyways,
had I not been
anyways.
around them, I would not have got it.
Anyways, you would have gotten it eventually.
No,
Everyone here is
no.
gonna get it.
I'm
I
gonna
know
die.
a
I'm
bunch
gonna
of
die
people-
eventually. Should I go and kill myself now?
Everyone in this like area when I left, I was surprised at the numbers of people going out for like New Year's and stuff. I didn't go out at all leading up to this trip, so I was like, I'm not catching this shit. I got it in another country. But anyways, everyone that I know has already got it, has its symptoms, just spreading like wildfire. This new variant or whatever it is not. Luckily, it doesn't seem to be as severe as the first time around where it was affecting the lungs. Luckily. But yeah, pretty crazy, dude. Like, well, welcome to the COVID, Grant. We're next level of health. We survived. We're here. We're alive. So anyone that's not triggered or offended by this up to this point, like Gabe, thank you for listening. So
Put that shit on me. I would not. I will state my claim that I would not. I'm glad that at least Jennifer and the girls are not, and they will keep up the tradition. They will carry the baton for the house, because I obviously can't. But two things that kind of like remind. One, you guys seen that movie Contagion, right?
I can't.
So you remember at the end where I'm sure you've seen it. You remember at the end where they kind of show how it all started, and it kind of gets like more like an infrared kind of like view, and it shows like everyone touching stuff and how it spread so easily.
Mhm.
So that it just kind of reminded
okay,
me of
okay.
that. How, well, to your point, John, how it can be spread so easily, and how everyone can, and maybe that's a high probability that everyone will eventually. It's probably just a matter of time, if anything. But it just kind of like highlighted that for me. And then two, my, I guess, experience with it, I said to myself, well, I would presume that, I guess maybe the overall consensus here and everyone's experience with it was not as something crazy or severe. Luckily, thank God, mainly for the type of lifestyle that we live. I mean, generally healthy-ish type of lifestyle. I mean, are we on point with everything? Probably not. I know I'm not. But for the most part, I think that kind of like led to the percentage chance of us not having some severe reaction or to it,
Yeah.
to not be there, because like you guys have said, it's damn near everyone around us and stuff that we hear, coworkers, colleagues, people from wherever that have got it, and some people would just, it's just been like hell for them. Like, I could barely leave the house. I'm just shitting and vomiting all over the place. I can't keep anything down, and everything is just a horrible experience. While I was just like, I mean, I'm good. I'm fine. Even now,
Yeah.
I still feel fine. But so another reason as to why to go towards a better health is because if would you say is most likely to be the case, John, how everyone will eventually have some type of version of it, the best thing that you can do to protect yourself, if you don't want to do get anything, then fine. But just take care of yourself and put yourself in a better situation to respond to this.
Yeah. No, I think that the point here also, I just want to clarify. Once I got back and haven't worked since I got back. Obviously, I've been in my house. Um, so I've been kind of isolated in that regard. It's just I needed to get obviously back here and not be stuck in a foreign country alone,
That's
just
crazy.
in a random hotel in downtown, wherever, where you never know, dude. You're just
Yeah.
not in your home. You can't recover properly. It's just a weird setup. So I was like, I have to get back. Obviously, you take precautions as best as you can. You make sure you wipe your hands, your mask on, traveling, like whatever. I wasn't talking to this person. I'm just sitting there like staring at the freaking thing in front of me. But yeah, I got back. I just kind of just went full blown recovery mode because here you have your food, you have your routine, you have your vitamins, you got all your stuff. So I started eating back normal, high protein, normal vegetables, getting my elderberry in, multivitamins, vitamin C, all that shit. So it's like basically just being able to fully bounce back in like a day. So literally, by the next day, I was fine. I just needed a good night's sleep and just be normal process. Ironically enough, I also make this little quick joke is that I noticed that the week that I've drank whiskey this whole year consistently.
Seriously?
And dude, my health has never been better. The week that I switched to tequila is the week I get sick. If I would have consumed whiskey, bro, this is how potent this shit is, right? I literally like on the way to the airport, I had bottles that I had bought of whiskey. I had to bring them back because I wasn't gonna waste it. I literally took a couple sips in the car. I took a cup. I was just sipping. Instantly felt better. Instantly. So I don't know, man. This is why on my Instagram I have, fitness content creator as well as a bourbon connoisseur because it works, guys. It works. I'm advocating for it to 2022. Have it in your routine. Have a little sip. It'll kill everything that's inside, and you'll feel a lot better.
You should start the BT movement, the bourbon therapy movement.
The bourbon therapy, baby. Just
have you seen?
bourbon...
Oh my goodness! Talk about fucking nasty ass people. Urine therapy. How people just use that either to drink it or whatever to get to help prevent you from catching it or getting out of your system.
What
fucking
the fuck?
Disgusting.
No.
Yes.
What?
Oh,
why?
Well, people.
No.
People are people, right? I mean, does it really surprise you?
No,
Shouldn't.
not really.
It really shouldn't. Hey, one thing that I did was I was able to binge watch the Boys. Finally saw that season 1.
Boys is
finished
good.
that one. Yes, it is good.
Yes.
Excited to go to start in season 2, and supposedly season 3 will be coming out this year. I don't know if it said it's coming out or it's done. It's coming out, right?
Oh, I think so. That's what I understood.
From my understanding, in June.
Yeah.
Ish.
Something like that.
Yeah. So,
did you watch
I have
Boba
to
Fett?
watch season 2 of The Boys.
Of course, yeah, Boba Fett. It's pretty good. It's good that it kind of like lets you know what happened to him from which movie was it where he got swallowed up?
Return? Yeah, Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
It showed you exactly what happened to him there and then what's going on, flashbacks and whatever. So better insight onto what are those people?
Tusken Raiders.
The Tusken Raiders. So it's good. I'm enjoying it.
And the Pikes. Yeah, it's actually more story and less action than I was anticipating, but not necessarily in a bad way. I'm enjoying it. And I'm assuming it's gonna, ramp up and get more action packed as it goes on.
I just realized I have not seen the latest one.
That's good it's good that you said that because I was just about to say something that would have fucking spoiled the whole thing. So I'll stop talking about Boba Fett. There's new episodes of Attack on Titan. There's new episodes of Demon Slayer. There's new episodes of BattleBots. There's so much shit going on right now. And then Eternals just came up on Disney Plus, so we watched that the other day. And I looked at Oliver and I was like, "You're gonna sleep for this whole movie, and we're gonna be able to sit here and enjoy it." And he did. He slept the whole time. I was like, "There's a 1 in a million chance that actually happened." I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was not what I anticipated, but I wasn't necessarily going in with like these super high expectations. It's introducing 6 or 7 people in the span of 2.5 hours. They crammed a lot in there, and I feel like they did a good enough job to do that. But I thought it was funny how arguably the most famous person on screen at any given moment was Angelina Jolie, and she says like 6 lines the whole time, which I thought was kind of funny. But I'm excited. I also got super duper hyped at the end credit scene when
Yes.
Jon Snow is about to touch the sword, and I'm like, here comes Black Knight, baby.
Yep.
And then you hear the voice of
I don't know his name. I can't even pronounce it.
Kang the Conqueror.
No, it's Blade.
It's Blade?
Yes,
Wesley
the director
Snipes?
confirmed that the guy. No, not the new Blade. It's some dude. I forget his name.
Oh, I know his name, but
I
I can't pronounce it.
Me either.
I thought it was Kang the Conqueror.
No,
For real? It's gonna be
yeah.
Blade?
The director confirmed that it was Blade talking to him off camera.
I'm sad now. I'm not.
So that was my favorite part about it, more as to what it's leading towards than the movie itself. I felt like the introduction to the character was fine. The characters themselves were fine, but a lot of the conflict was just like, what was the point? Like, it made no damn sense. Like, when they were fighting in like the woods, what was the whole point of that? There was no point of that. No point of the conflict. No point of the resolution of it. No damn reason. It's probably my least favorite out of all. The saving grace of it was the Celestial, and what's leading to after. I didn't care for it too much.
I have to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, guys. So.
Oh, I'm giving you a great reason to watch it, aren't I?
Yeah, it's just. Oh, I saw bits and pieces yesterday. My brother was checking it out, and I just look kind of corny, to be honest.
It's good enough to watch.
Yeah.
It's good enough to watch. Don't build a day around it. Just sit down and watch it. Do some laundry.
Maybe in installments. Yeah, you put it on your phone while you're folding your laundry or something. Take it around with you.
Yeah.
I mean, watch while I'm recording the Next Level Show. Just
if you're gonna compare it, I would say
option.
it's. I liked it more than like Thor: The Dark World. I'd say that's probably my least favorite Marvel movie.
No, for me, it's the first Thor.
You don't like the first Thor? Wow. This whole episode's about to shift in topic.
No, Mr.
That's a classic.
No eyebrows Thor. I don't like no eyebrows Thor.
No.
He does look really different in that movie. Like,
because they have blonde eyebrows, and it looks like he has no eyebrows. He looks weird.
That's your complaint?
Well, that's just how I refer to it, but I just didn't care to it too much. And the big shift of how from part 3 to part 2 and how he is now, I mean, it's much better. I was really adverse to it at first, but I mean, I just didn't care too much for it. I mean, I'll watch it, but no. And then part 2, the reason I kind of make like, I don't know, is because that one scene where Loki cuts his hand off. I like that scene. I guess that saves it for the movie for me. So there is no scene in the first movie that I can speak to or just say, oh, I like it because of this. That's why.
I appreciate it. I mean, I didn't put too much hype around Thor when he came out anyways, but I was like, I liked it. I mean, didn't have really much complaints. I'll watch the Eternals. I still have to watch that Asian Kung Fu one.
No, it's way better.
That one's good.
Like,
that one's real good.
So much better. You will enjoy it. I guarantee you will enjoy that movie. The other one, just whatever. Hawkeye was good.
Yeah.
I like Hawkeye.
Yeah, we finished. I finished that. Yeah, that was good.
And obviously Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Fuck.
My new favorite movie, MCU, superhero, all the above. And then once, I think it comes out on the 28th, I believe, February 28th, I will make sure to get it then. And I don't get any movies. So.
Yeah, it's a worth buy. It's a worth buying one.
1000%.
So good. I'm excited to see what they start doing with the whole, with the Venom. The whole universe with Venom.
Yeah, it's so weird as to I don't know what they're doing with that.
I don't know if they're gonna link that with Andrew Garfield. There's so much rumors going on with that. It's just they're gonna probably bring about another Amazing Spider-Man movie, which it kind of revised. Like out of everyone, who gave it more like opportunity was to Andrew Garfield, ironically enough, and he was not my favorite Spider-Man movie. But he now has so much support behind him that now they're pushing for another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Well, it was generally because that was the least favorite out of anyone's. I mean, did some people like the movie? Yeah, but if you were to rank them, the general consensus would be he would be number 3, and the 1 and 2 would be up for debate depending on when you started watching it.
I-
But I didn't care for the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I didn't even finish watching part 2 because I just was like, whatever. But I am interested in seeing as to where he can go. Andrew Garfield can take it, and it just shows what he can do with better directing, writing, story. Because I just didn't like the stories for the first two.
I think I saw this on, maybe it was an opinion post on like Reddit or something like that, but it summed up how I felt about it pretty perfectly. Tobey Maguire was a better Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tom Holland is kind of best of both worlds.
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of, I liked the all of the movies. I'm not super biased. There's some that I like more and some that I like less, but I'd be super down for more Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Yes.
Or they could go in a completely different direction and just introduce Miles Morales, or do something else entirely. I mean, we're in the multiverse now. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They've got billions of dollars. So
I just think what killed it for Andrew Garfield for me was the villains in the movie were just kind of I didn't care for them that much. But
I think if we got a third and Hobgoblin was there with Dane DeHaan or whatever that guy's name was, I think that would have been pretty cool. But I tend to agree with that. The villains were kind of lame.
Didn't care for them much.
Yeah.
To me, he was like the Peter Parker aspect. It was kind of like got me because he was just like way too. You're too cool to be Peter Parker.
He's literally a model.
Exactly. Well, that and speaking of, I want to say, what was it? Was it he went for the role of Prince Caspian in Chronicles of Narnia, and they were like that he wasn't handsome enough. That's why he didn't get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Triggered.
Well,
anyways,
he's too handsome. He's too handsome to be Peter Parker, but he's not handsome enough to be a prince. Got it.
There you go.
Pretty much. Well, guys, I think that we kind of filled up our audience with a big update. We've been kind of out of it for 2 weeks now since the last episode we did on New Year's. Before the New Year, Mike and I recorded it right on that 31st. If you haven't checked that one out, we talked about everything we needed to know about going into this year, setting up your goals as well as your action goals, supporting those goals. I guess moving forward with this year, I'll kind of give a quick rundown of what we have planned for the Next Level Show. Basically, 2021, it was just a weird year of adjustment, especially moving. We had a couple guests last year, but what I want to do this year is actually kind of organize, have it really structured out for the first quarter of the year and have like a couple guests lined up and bring more variety and some of the guests that we noticed a good engagement with. We'll try to get those people back on and do a follow-up episode with these people that we had fun with. So there's some episodes that just did very well. And I had a lot of good feedback from our people that messaged me, and they say they found us through so-and-so, or they liked this episode, and we can touch up on different topics that I think will be cool. So definitely we're going to be expanding with as far as the guests go. Just bring you guys variety to step it outside of just being a fitness podcast. Obviously, we have a lot of changes in our personal lives. I still coach full time. Have a couple of changes that I'll be probably doing in my personal life. Just getting into, hopefully, one of my big goals this year is to getting into at least one piece of investment property. And that's going to be just one of my personal financial endeavors. But just little things like that, guys. I mean, like I have my stuff kind of mapped out this year. If you guys want me to break it down more in other episodes, I can. But as far as the podcast, we want to keep bringing you variety, tons of different guests, different topics, different avenues, stuff that's random that has nothing to do with our expertise. Because I think that'll be actually more entertaining and fun. And but as far as fitness stuff for this episode, I know it's already going to be the second or third week we're going into of the new year. Mike, before you got the vid, how was the traffic in the gym for you guys? Did it slow down?
Insanely busy. Yeah, it did not slow down whatsoever. I mean, like New Year's Day, I sat down and I was calling a bunch of people because like it's New Year's Day, like let's fucking do this, baby. I got literally hung up on. I got yelled at. People were hungover. They didn't want to fucking hear it. But then, like, a couple days later, I caught corona, and then everybody at the gym is literally just slaying it. And we have like a group chat going, and it was just anytime somebody signs somebody up, there's a picture with all caps stud and maybe like some flames or like a crown or something like that. And it was I was literally just sitting there like on the verge of like death, holding a baby that was also on the verge of death, which makes me sad to say. And it was just
That got
stud,
dark.
stud, stud,
Quite.
stud, stud. And I was like, damn, bro, I'm like missing it right now. But then decisions and whatnot. But yeah, it got really busy. It still is. We all know what's gonna
So
happen on February 1st, though.
yeah, so with that being said, I know that there's probably like tons of people now, especially like getting the maybe you gotten sick as well throughout this whole process or not. Is are you seeing the numbers go crazy? But what Gabe was saying like earlier, it just makes you kind of reflect that like how the most like one of the most important things, if not the most important thing that you have going for you as far as in accordance to wealth, is your health. As cheesy as that is, like you need a functioning body that's resilient, that can fight off, a lot of these, not even necessarily just the on the topic of COVID, but like outside of just everything else, your gut health, your mind, your mental health, just overall, like having a good amount of muscle mass, lower levels of body fat, just a body that can withstand whatever life is going to throw, because you don't have control. You only have control to an extent, but it's either that or you're going to, I don't think it's going to be ideal for us as human beings to continue to isolate ourselves, always being in our safe little space. There's still a world to see out there. There's still going to be some, this is going to be something that's going to live with us forever. Probably it's going to just be around. So I'm all about just kind of just taking control of what you can physically do, your habits, your lifestyle, and just preparing so you can still enjoy your life to the best of your ability. So I don't know what you guys think.
Well, a healthier version of you would be more apt to not only handle any of this illnesses that you could potentially incur. And there's other things besides that. There's a regular cold. There's a regular flu. Who the hell wants either one of those two? Nobody. The answer should be nobody, because nobody wants to get sick. And I don't know about you guys, but prior to that, I mean, I haven't. Shit. Maybe like what 3 years ago I got like sick once. Before that, very rarely. And this is someone who isn't taking anything into any type of extreme version. And sure, maybe the people who, anyone in an extreme, like for instance, an extreme calorie deficit for an extended period of time, that's not generally healthy for you. Maybe that individual could contract any kind of illnesses a little bit more likely. But just be, a healthier version of you would help you to defend against and withstand anything that may enter your body.
Yeah, and
What a
then
weird way to say it, but sure.
just to take the three comparisons of us, arguably, I'm probably the least healthy of us three right now. I mean, if you're looking at metrics as far as quality of food, definitely quality of sleep, amounts of stress, and then how much I'm actually actively caring for my body through workout, exercise, whatever you want to call it. From what it sounds like, I probably had it the worst. So that's, I'm still in a relatively healthy state, but maybe compared to the average person. But out of us three, I got it the worst, and that's probably attributed to some of those markers that I just mentioned. And that's not to say that that's something that's on my mind when I put in my 2 weeks at crunch, but that's definitely something that, talking about priority triangle, I was so far leaning towards finance and business and stuff that health and family started falling off. And now I'm trying to get back more towards that side of the triangle and, hopefully be able to get back towards that. And then, I mean, just comparatively, I think the last time I was sick, I actually had the actual flu, right before, like a couple months before COVID hit. And, that was probably the most sick I've ever been my whole life. Like, I felt like if I didn't go to a doctor and get something to help, I was going to die. And this one, I didn't feel like I was at that point at all. It was just like a really bad cold. But yeah.
No, it's crucial, man. I mean, and you think about it, like we're overall above average health overall, even Mike, because you have overall just put in years of building yourself up. So I mean, it's not just gonna go away this in just a year of imbalance. It doesn't work necessarily that way. Obviously, like we all get affected differently from whatever's out there. None of us are gonna respond exactly the same. But I guess our general message with this, I would say definitely like this year, following all the hype with the new year, the resolutions, 5 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds of weight loss, maybe someone's goal. Awesome, that is still important and valid. But I want you to kind of, my message for a lot of my people this year would be just, you know, your health is your biggest currency. Like if you have an unhealthy body, just think about how much is going to cost you down the road in medical bills and expenses. If you do end up falling into a position where you need to go to the hospital, we know that those visits are not cheap. You want to do everything you can this year to just obviously be motivated, sure, to maybe reach an aesthetic goal, which is completely cool. But also look at that this year will be the year that I'm going to take myself serious enough and actually maintain a good balance of health for the rest of my life and make it a shift, a mindset shift that you're going to do this. There's no end date to this, regardless if your goal is 5 pounds, 10 pounds, something small, or if it's something bigger. You're going to go at this with like, there is no end date. And that way you start adopting principles, habits, things that are going to contribute to that. Because I know that regardless of what we say, there always going to be that surge of New Year resolutions, but there is going to be also that drop of the average person that tries to find motivation, it finally goes away, falls off, and it's kind of that vicious cycle that repeats and fluctuates throughout the year. But for anyone listening to this podcast, if you share this with someone, or you're new, or you're someone that's been listening for a long time, or maybe even slacking these last couple weeks through the holidays, guys, I mean, like this is, if it's not a better time to, if dates matter and time frames matter, this is a perfect excuse to get back on it, to really really take care of yourself and take control. And honestly, the simple I'll kind of give some breakdown here, just like a quick little like a guideline, if you will be primarily you need to get into some type of routine with some type of resistance training. And it can be at the bare minimum of 1 time a week for someone that's brand spanking new. If you're more on the middle range, I would say up to 3 times a week would be more than enough, without demanding too much additional time out of the individual. 3 times a week of a well-structured strength training routine. And when I say strength training, I'm not saying cardio with weights. I'm saying traditional strength training where you're trying to actively get stronger uh, over the course of time. Um, Cardio, I know we knock on it a lot, but I think cardio overall for your heart health is phenomenal if you just keep some type of it doesn't have to be anything intense or crazy, but just something that gets your heart going a little bit. It doesn't have to be the bulk of your routine either. It's just going to help your overall recovery, as well as just being able to perform better. If your primary goal is building muscle and getting stronger, that can contribute. And also, you really need to focus on managing your sleep, your recovery. This is a big critical part for a lot of people that drop the ball tremendously, which can literally, you have a week's worth of poor sleep. You just open yourself up to opportunities just to catch the common cold. It's just your body just gets into such a vulnerable state, as you see Mike here, possibly opening up himself to another cold with that yawn. But so sleep, I cannot harp on enough. We also did like first year of the podcast, we did an episode with Dr. Amy Bender. We have a full sleep episode. I actually do want to get her back and have her on the show, and I think it'll be a good refreshing episode for our listeners. But can't stress that enough. And guys, not about hopping on any diet this year. I don't care I don't care about you joining keto, a vegan diet, a vegetarian diet, a paleo diet, whatever diets out there nowadays, if they've made new ones. All I care about, guys, is that the biggest rock here and biggest takeaway from your nutrition piece is to limit the amount of junk food that you're consuming on a regular basis. Not saying you can't have any, but the majority of your food should be minimally processed foods, following a higher protein approach with some vegetables. If you're someone that's like, I don't like eating vegetables, stop being a child, eat your vegetables. Find a way to make them enjoyable at first, even if you have to cook them a certain way that's not optimal. But you got to start changing your habits. We're not going to baby you and say like, yeah, you don't have to eat. You don't have to, but you are really dropping the ball. I'm going to be very direct. You are really dropping the ball with a lot of shit that could be combated with just improving your eating habits. So definitely there, I would say stick with the big rocks of whole foods primarily. Allow yourself to enjoy a glass of whiskey, some wine, whatever, some junk food, but that the majority of the diet is supported by good stuff. That's gonna be the biggest thing that's gonna help you combat this new crazy world we live in with this whole new adjustments, variants coming out left and right. We want you to be as set your body up for success. That way, it can be basically an eternal, and it can like fight all this shit off.
This is true. I saw something. I think a post by Max Lugavere, and he was just like that. How junk food has become so accepted that any type of eating healthy is labeled diet.
Yeah,
It's weird, and
yeah,
it makes sense. I was just like, well, shit, yeah.
it's weird, man. Because I was just being on vacation. I know, Gabe, you probably like noticed this too. Is that you go on vacation, you lose that structure of eating a particular way, and you're just trying out all like the extravagant stuff that you wouldn't normally eat here, like the super fried food or like whatever the case may be.
I'll have one of each dessert, please.
Yes. But after a couple of days of being off my routine, man, like I genuinely craved just to have my simple meals.
Yeah.
And we call them simple meals because they're not pretty on a plate. They don't look all fancy and full of like all these like additional seasonings and stuff. But it was just it's just crazy how better the body just feels. Having like a big bowl of spinach with some basic chicken or steak and some white rice, something just very plain to the point, but your body just feels the best. And having that structure and routine, I think another big thing that I would tell our listeners this year is really focusing on creating good routines in your life. um, if you feel like your life is all over the place in your structure of eating, working out is just so random 90% of the time, then you need to make some adjustments. um, and it's going to start with you just making one or two changes throughout your routine this year. Well, per week I would say, or per month, and then start building on those habits, because those are going to be the biggest determining factors if you guys can make this doable. Because if you're just kind of just doing random things all the time and have no structure or consistency, it's going to be very hard for you to kind of build yourself a lifestyle that's going to be advantageous to support your goals. Mike?
I agree.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No.
But I'm thinking about other things for this year, you guys, to look out for. But I mean, we did do an in-depth episode, but just to briefly cover on the goals. I mean, with all the goals and resolutions that happened this year and the hype and the motivation, we know that it's not enough, but it's a place to start. And I think that, creating these goals for yourself is fine. We had talked about not marrying your goals, not getting becoming over emotionally attached to these things, whether you identify with them, but have enough where you hold yourself to some type of standard that you want to change, that you want something better for yourself. And then also, it's not enough just to write them. You want to create actionable steps that you're gonna be able to follow up these goals with. So definitely pay attention to what you want to do when it comes to your health and fitness. The reason I'm hammering so much here is, one, is our specialty, it's our expertise, but also because we know that a healthier body overall is going to perform better in every other avenue of life that you take on, whether that's your career this year with your maybe school, maybe a business endeavor, maybe it's reaching new promotions and everything in your job. If you're not running optimally, your body's feeling like shit, getting sick all the time, getting weathered down, high stress. You're not going to perform to the best of the abilities, and you're not going to be able to accomplish those goals anyways. So, well, the desire is it's going to be very tough to push through. That's all knowing that for a fact. So definitely encourage you guys to really, really prioritize your body this year. I don't know if the last 2 years have shown you this, but we can't really stress it enough on this podcast.
Word.
Anything else that we have for our listeners? I think this is kind of a good opening episode to kick off the year. Updates like crazy, changes that are happening. I'm assuming that, Mike, if someone reaches out to you still, you'll still help them. So if they want to reach out to you on Instagram, ask you any questions. They identify with maybe you're the new dad. What are you doing? Maybe even post if Mike's going to be sharing some of his stuff. Maybe once in a while when he's working out, he'll show kind of what he's up to. Who knows? Reach out to him, ask him. I know he's still has tons of knowledge and wisdom when it comes to helping people. At this point, Mike, you've trained over hundreds of people, so you definitely like. I think it's something that you'll always will keep doing. Gabe obviously still works with people in private. Always has kept his hand on the pulse with fitness. So I mean, obviously reach out to him if you have any questions. If you because I know people might be identifying better, like let's say with Mike, or they might identify with Gabe, they might identify more with what I say or my or personalities. So reach out to whoever you feel comfortable with. We're always here to help you guys throughout this year. We want, I'm not going to charge you just to talk to us. I mean, it's the point is just to keep this going. And if you have any topics or questions that you would like us to discuss more in future episodes, we got you guys. Anything else before we close out?
No.
Nah.
You guys have any jokes?
Sure. Hey, do you know why your nose is in the middle of your face? Because it's the center.
Mm.
There it is.
Yep.
You got something, Mike?
Yeah, I wore a kilt to my first therapy appointment yesterday, and within seconds of sitting down, the therapist told me I was mentally ill. His exact words were, "I can clearly see your nuts."
That was a good one.
Clearly.
Well, I don't have any jokes for you guys. I never really do. It's not going to really change this year. But with that being said, for the people that don't know, quick little announcements. We are on YouTube. We do have videos of every episode coming out moving forward. You guys can see us on there, comment, interact. We also obviously are on all platforms. Spotify, if you listen through Apple, we also have a Spotify, vice versa. We have Apple, and we have basically any platform this podcasts are available. We're typically there. Just type in the Next Level Show. Support, like this video. So leave us a 5-star rating and review. This year, we're going to really try to bring you guys some awesome interviews, stuff, good topics, and hopefully to connect more with our listeners and grow our audience to be able to help more people this year. And we're going to venture out a little bit from the fitness stuff only. So it's going to be cool. We're going to probably just bring you guys some craziness, some randomness, and hope you guys are always enjoying the content. If any questions, obviously shoot us a message. With that being said, check us out on all the social media platforms on Instagram at The Next Level Show. My personal account is at John Alva Fitness. Gabe is at Prime and Glory, and Mr. Mike is at Mike Nillis PT. You guys already know. Until the next one.